You guys already know that I've recently started homeschooling, as a lot of us out there have, and I've started to get into a rhythm of things that we do in our routine. I actually did a whole video on a routine and our first day of homeschool. So now I wanted to do a video on some homeschool essentials. I have a lot of ideas and I want to hear your ideas too. Hey you guys, it's Christina from the Purple Alphabet, and I may be new to homeschooling, but I'm not new to learning activities. In fact, that's what the whole channel's about, right? So I wanted to do a video of my favorite homeschool or home learning essentials, and of course I wanted to get your feedback too. So if you see something in this video that you think I missed or should have included, leave me a comment down below because others are going to read your comments and they want to get your ideas too. So we're talking about homeschool essentials, things that just make home learning easier, or things that I think every home should have if you're going to be doing learning activities. I want to say thank you to all of the new Purple Alphabet subscribers. I really appreciate you clicking that subscribe button. If you haven't yet, I would love it if you were to join the Purple Alphabet family. Of course, we do educational activities and ideas and inspirations to learn through play. It's one of my favorite things to do, and I love sharing those ideas with you. What I'm going to do is going to put all of these ideas or suggestions that are very similar in my Amazon affiliate store. That's down below in the description, so you can go right to it and look for the list for homeschool essentials. And in that list, I'm going to have what I tell you today, plus others maybe that I've been inspired by that you might want to consider. But today's video, we're talking about essentials like your basics. If you're not going to buy anything else, these are kind of things that you probably want to get if you don't have them already. My first homeschool essential is in this little box here, and they are snap cubes. Now, snap cubes are these little cubes that snap together in different ways, but they're mostly used as math manipulatives. Now, I think that these are a great set to have because they're very versatile. Not only can you use them from very early on, 3 and up, and counting and pulling apart and building, but you can use them all the way up through the upper grades too. So right now, my second graders are even using these, and they're very common in Common Core math, but you don't have to be learning Common Core math to use them. I like that they're a good size. They're not too big. They're not too clunky. They're rainbow colors. My kids love them. I'll probably put a couple of suggestions for those in the Amazon store. The reason why they're on my list is because they're perfect for the young ones all the way on up. As I said, you could use them for color recognition early on. You can use them for basic counting. You can use them for subtraction, addition as you get on up through the grades. And it's just a really great tool to have. Plus, the kids like to build with them. I think I posted over on Instagram too. One of my kids had made some rainbows out of them. So they're good for those STEM activities that you might be doing as well. So snap cubes, love these. Kind of going along with the math here are 10 frames. Now you can find 10 frames, all different kinds of sizes and different ways online. The ones I have here are from Lakeshore Learning. I'm going to find a similar one from my Amazon store, but this is what a 10 frame looks like. I've seen them in magnetic, I've seen them paper, I've seen them in stamp form. I have 2 here, and these are just another essential to Common Core math. However, if you're not doing Common Core math, these are a perfect thing for early ages on up. This set also comes with some counters inside of here. I have some red and white counters. There's red on one side and white on the other side. We use this for one-to-one correspondence and beginning counting. You can do patterns on here. You can do addition problems. You can do 2 10 frames at the same time. It helps with all kinds of different math purposes. So I definitely think these are an essential. It's a great visual and a hands-on tool to learn all of those math things. We still pull these out every now and then just to have a great visual and to physically move our counters on the 10 frames. It's a great hands-on way to learn math. My third favorite for this video are magnetic alphabets. Now this magnetic alphabet I pulled together on a budget kind of way. I found these over in the Target dollar section, and they were magnetic letters in different colors. Now I would highly recommend looking for ones that are the traditional red and blue because they make the vowels a different color than the consonants. I, however, was on a budget and decided to go this route. It cost me like $3 to just do a whole set, $3 or $4. And so that's what we did, and we ended up doing. These are also capital. I recommend starting with lowercase, and then you can also add on and get the capital letters too. I do a lot of these activities based on the Montessori movable alphabet. And you can do all sorts of learning activities as far as letter recognition goes. You can move on to CVC words, basic spelling. You can go on to sentences if you want to. You can find missing letters, and there's a lot of variety that you can do with just these phonetic sounds. You can also do a lot of phonics words and phonetic sounds by using this the actual letter as the symbol for that phonetic sound. Definitely a must. I could say I've had this set for at least maybe 5 or 6 years, maybe more, and we used it a lot and are still still using it today. And Alphabet Set is definitely a great tool that's going to grow with your kids, and you're going to find yourself using it a lot. Next on my list are art supplies. Now this can be anything, right? But just something. You don't have to get every single art supply out there, but you can get your basic, your crayons, your markers, your glue. But I would also suggest, oh, and the scissors, don't forget scissors, because you're definitely going to need a lot of cutting practice. However, I also suggest getting something just a little bit more unique. Like I have some of these Crayola finger paints, which are great. Stamps make great art supplies, stamps and ink pads, that kind of thing. Right here I have some Do-A-Dot markers. I love these. I think these are great also for learning, and you can incorporate them into your learning as well as using them for art projects. This one's one of my favorites. They are smelling or scented, I guess you could say, Do-A-Dot markers. This one's called Ice Cream Dreams, so they all have ice cream scent, so you have a little bit of sensorial in your activities as well. So be very creative when you're looking for art supplies and find something, your traditional ones, plus add some fun ones in there too, just to kind of mix it up a little bit. Usually we talk about sensory bins and sensory items in the early baby, toddler, preschool age, and kind of a little bit on up, but I do recommend having some sort of sensory item for all ages. Now this can be a dough, a kinetic sand, some kind of putty, Aaron's thinking putty, those kinds of things that are very tactile and that they can use with their fingers. In early ages, we're using it for sensory development, and we're also using it for fine motor skills where we're strengthening those hand muscles for writing. But in older children, we're also using it for calming exercises and stress relievers. So they're a great tool to have, and there's such a variety that you could probably find something that really suits your child well. I've done lots of videos on sensory and sensory materials, so you can go back and just do a search for sensory in my homepage search bar, and it'll pull up a lot of things and you can get some good ideas that way too. But I'll put a couple of different suggestions and ideas in the Amazon store just so you can kind of get an idea and maybe pick one or two that you think would suit your child best. And speaking of sensory, because you usually do sensory bins with sensory items, we have to have a tool set, right? Another fine motor find. Inside this box, I have my favorite tool set. Constantly talking about this with you guys and probably really annoying you. I have 3 out of the 4 tools here because one of the other tools is in our water bin right now. And so this set actually comes with 4 different tools, and each one of them working a little bit different. We have the tweezers here, which are a pinching motion. We have this, when you pinch, it opens up and you can grab things in the little ball-like end, I guess. And then we have this one that also has a ball-like end, but instead of squeezing it, you open it like scissors to open it. And then the other one is a little plunger that can suck up water, kind of like a baster. Fine motor tools are a great kit to have in your arsenal of homeschool supplies because they're great to work with sensory materials, particularly with the preschool age, because you can really work on those fine motor skills, once again, building up the hand strength for writing and to prepare them for that. So these are great tools to have, and I've had these forever, and I actually bought an additional one because when my girls became both of age to use them, they both wanted to use them at the same time. You can use them with activities, you can use them with sensory bins, you can use them out in sand, you can use them with water, you can use them with manipulatives, you can pick up snap cubes with them. You can get really creative, and I'm constantly bringing these out to show you guys in my videos. So definitely love this set. It's very affordable. I think it's like $10, maybe less sometimes, I don't know, but it's a good one to have, and it's held up really well. My next homeschool essential is really simple. I'm almost afraid to say it because it's so simple, but notebooks or paper. But specifically, I like this one. This is a composition book, and it's paper that is early writing paper. So the way that the lines are ruled is that they're made a little bit bigger for those early writers. So make sure to get something that's appropriate for your child. If you have an older child that can write on wide ruled or even college ruled, to do that. But this is a great primary notebook to get ready to make sure that they're forming those letters properly. I do like this primary composition book. This one I got at the dollar store, but you can also find them over at Target, Walmart, and I'll put them in the Amazon store too, because these have kind of like a little area where you can draw a picture at the top. It's blank here at the top, and then you have the lines, so you can do stories, or you could write a letter on here and do a word list, or you can do a picture and write about it. All kinds of different options, and that's why I really like this one. It's called a primary composition book. So look for something like this. If you don't want to do that kind of fancy thing, just get your regular lined paper and just have a good supply of that, because you're probably going to use it a lot in writing. Or you can do a notebook like this to keep it all together in one. I know a lot of you out there do journaling, which is another great exercise to do with this, so they're very versatile. My next homeschool essentials are not exactly homeschool, but more so play, PE, physical exercise. So items that you can use to do obstacle courses, play outside with, maybe play indoors if you can't go outdoors. So things like bean bags, hula hoops, cones, painter's tape. You guys know I just did a video not too long ago about items that you can use at home, and painter's tape is a great thing to do some indoor obstacle courses with. I'll try to link that video up here in the corner if I remember, that you can go back and watch, because there's some great ideas with painter's tape. So finding some items that are really simple to put together some great physical activities and to work on those gross motor skills. And of course, don't forget things like chalk and balls and scooters and those kinds of things. So just a couple of items to add to your homeschool essential list for recreation. Next up I have for you are flashcards, and any kind of flashcards. It doesn't have to be anything special. I would recommend starting really simple for the younger kids, so colors, numbers, ABCs, and then working on up to something like this. These are addition, or you can even make your own, you guys. I have this little notebook right here that's just index cards that's bound by a little hook that's kind of from the dollar store. So you can make your own flashcards to whatever you want. But these days you can get flashcards in just about anything, capitals and animals and Spanish words and sign language. And so really finding something that would suit your learning style would work really, really well. So definitely start off with something easy if you're just starting the learning, and then you can use those materials a lot when you go through your home learning journey. And I have found that the basic ones, like your ABCs and your 1, 2, 3s, and then your addition, subtraction, multiplication, are probably the ones you're going to use the most over time. And if you learn how to use them and not just your boring "what is this" answer, and using them in your lessons in a more visual way, you're going to have a lot of success with these. And they're so affordable and such a great learning tool. So definitely explore your options on your flashcards and use them in ways that aren't your traditional just recite your math facts for me. And I promise you that you'll have some great success with these, and they aren't so boring anymore. This one I almost forgot to put on my essential list, and it's a tray. And not that you have to have a tray, but I cannot tell you how many times I've used these trays for activities. What I would do is I put an activity on here and I would gather the material so it's ready to go, or I have my child use this as their workspace, or I'd use it to carry work from another area. They're so versatile and so affordable. I'm going to put some of these options in the Amazon store. You can also find them on Michael's sometimes, and sometimes I think at Hobby Lobby. However, if you don't want to use trays, just a designated workspace is an essential. So on your coffee table, on your kitchen table, on a designated table or desk, having a space for your child to do their work on, whether it's homeschooling or home learning, is very beneficial. These trays have suited us very well over the years in many different ways, and so that's why they are on my essential list. But if you have other ideas on how you use your learning workspace, I would love to hear those too. But I love these trays. We use them all the time. I actually bought more of them after a few years because we were using them for so many different things. And as a bonus to this video, I asked you guys, what are your homeschooling, home learning essentials? I wanted to know your answers because you guys always have the best ideas. I know I say that all the time, but it's 100% true. So I wanted to make sure that I included those in this video because you guys are masters at this and have great suggestions. Thank you for that. And if you didn't have a chance to answer my question on Instagram, then definitely do so in the comments down below, because I know people like to read the comments and to hear what you guys have to say. If I missed something in this video that's essential to home learning or you think is a good essential item, definitely write that down below. You guys click subscribe to see more videos like this and give me a thumbs up to show your love.